Jungkook reveals a serious issue. HYBE never appreciated Taehyung? Army furious. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on our exclusive deep dives into the unseen sides of BTS. This is the place where truth meets heart, and today's story might be the most emotional one yet. What if the world you trusted never really saw your worth? What if one of the most beloved idols of our generation was quietly suffering all along? Today, we dive deep into a revelation that has left ARMY in shock and questioning everything they thought they knew about BTS's bond with HYBE. It started with a whisper, a single comment, barely caught during a casual live session, but it echoed like thunder through the BTS fandom. Jungkook, Golden Magne, usually reserved when it comes to controversial topics, spoke just a few words, but those words were enough to light a firestorm of discussion. "I wish things had been fair for Taehyung," he said, his voice quieter than usual, almost like he didn't mean to say it out loud. He looked down. The silence after was deafening. He didn't explain further. He didn't need to. Because ARMY knew. They always knew something was off. Behind Taehyung's dazzling smiles, behind the Vogue covers, the sold-out concerts, the acting gigs, there was something raw, something aching. Fans had speculated for years that V wasn't being appreciated the way he should be by HYBE. Not in promotions. Not in solo projects. Not even in the way his artistry was discussed in the company's public narratives. But for Jungkook, the youngest member, to subtly admit it, that changed everything. Let's rewind the clock. Back in 2013, BTS debuted under BigHit Entertainment, the company we now know as HYBE. A then-struggling label took a chance on 7 boys. One of them, Taehyung, was a surprise even to fans, not revealed until just before debut. From the start, he was different. A voice like smoky velvet, a look that could command runways, and a personality that oscillated between childlike wonder and old soul depth. Yet despite his popularity, Taehyung's trajectory in BTS's spotlight always seemed dimmer than expected. Why wasn't he given more solo opportunities earlier? Why were his writing credits overlooked when others were celebrated? Why did it take years for HYBE to let Taehyung explore the cinematic, jazzy aesthetic he's always craved? It wasn't just the fans asking. Now Jungkook was asking too. In a 2025 live stream celebrating BTS's anniversary, Jungkook and Jimin reminisced about their early days. But when Taehyung's name came up, Jungkook suddenly shifted. He paused, exhaled, and said, "You know, there were times he should have been at the front. But he chose silence instead." That one sentence cracked open a box ARMY wasn't ready to open. What did Jungkook mean? Was Taehyung overlooked? Did HYBE choose to mute his creative voice? The more fans revisited old footage, the more puzzle pieces started falling into place. There was the 2018 Festa dinner, where Taehyung looked visibly emotional while talking about wanting to release music that reflected his soul. There was the now viral clip from Run BTS, where he jokingly said, "I always get left behind in promotions," followed by awkward laughter from the members. And there was the infamous 2022 award show, where Taehyung's solo work was mentioned last, despite being one of the most streamed songs by a BTS member that year. Coincidence? Or a pattern? And now, with Jungkook's comment, it feels like the truth was finally poking through the carefully curated image. But this wasn't about petty jealousy. Not even close. It's about a member who gave everything, his youth, his voice, his vulnerability, only to be consistently sidelined by the system that promised to elevate all 7 equally. And the most heartbreaking part? Taehyung never complained. Not once. Not publicly. Instead, he buried his pain in music. Scenery, Winter Bear, Blue and Gray, and most recently, his solo album Layover, each one dripping with melancholy, loneliness, and longing. They weren't just songs. They were unsent letters to a world that didn't see him clearly. Behind every lyric was a boy sitting in a hotel room at 3 a.m., pouring his soul into a voice memo, hoping someone out there would hear him. And ARMY did. Always. When Layover dropped, It wasn't HYBE's promotion that pushed it to the top of charts. It was ARMY. Organic, relentless, loyal. Fans who knew that this wasn't just another solo debut. It was a reclaiming of identity. A whisper turning into a roar. Yet even then, fans noticed the silence from HYBE. No elaborate press campaigns. No headline-grabbing media appearances. Just Taehyung, quietly releasing a masterpiece into the world, while the company that should have celebrated it barely seemed to care. And perhaps that's what made Jungkook's statement even more powerful. Because coming from him, someone who's had massive solo success, who is often promoted front and center, it was a gesture of loyalty, of truth, and of brotherhood. It told the world, I see what you tried to ignore. The reaction online was immediate. ARMYs flooded social media with hashtags like #ProtectTaehyung and #HYBEBeFair. Fans began compiling evidence, sharing old interviews, comparing solo promotions. What emerged was a sobering realization. Taehyung, one of the most beloved and naturally gifted idols in K-pop, had often been treated as an afterthought. Why? Was it his quiet nature? His resistance to becoming a product? His insistence on creating art that defied the usual K-pop formula? Or was it something deeper, something more systemic within HYBE's inner workings? And just when the questions started piling up, an anonymous source, claiming to be a former HYBE staff member, added fuel to the fire. They said, Taehyung always asked for creative input, always submitted concepts. But most of the time it was shot down. He was too artsy, too difficult to market. They wanted safe, not soulful. If that's true, then what does it say about the industry BTS helped revolutionize? And more importantly, what does it say about how we treat the artists who refuse to fit into a box? Stay with us. Because in the next part of this video, we're going to uncover the moments HYBE doesn't want you to remember, the emotional aftermath Taehyung has hinted at, and Jungkook's continued resistance against the silence. As armies around the world reeled from Jungkook's subtle yet seismic revelation, more fans began digging, piecing together moments that once seemed innocent but now screamed of something hidden in plain sight. There was that 2020 behind-the-scenes clip during the On era where Taehyung, standing on the sidelines, quietly watched the others rehearse for a solo stage performance. He had been practicing too, yet his portion never made it to the final show. No explanation. No mention in interviews. And Taehyung? He just smiled and moved on. If you felt something during the story, confusion, heartbreak, or hope, share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Let's support each other. And most importantly, let's continue supporting every member of BTS for who they truly are. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because stories like this one deserve to be heard, and we're just getting started. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and never stop seeking the truth behind the spotlight.